Welcome to PCMag Live. We are live at the PCMag Labs in New York City. I'm Alex Cologne. This is Sascha Segan. And today we are going to talk about the top news of the day. We are going to answer a reader question, and we're going to show you one cool thing from the PCMag Labs. So you might be wondering why I'm wearing Google Glass. That's actually our first story of the day. Google Glass is now on sale to the public starting this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. So by the time you watch this, it might actually be sold out. Google Glass has been really hard to get before this. You had to sign up for a program and be approved by Google. So what do you think about that, Sascha?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who's watched this show more than once knows what I think of Google Glass, and I'll just say there is a three-letter word that you can't spell glass without. And so you're wearing this, but you know what? I'm going to step back. You all know how I feel about Google Glass, what I think about its social implications, what I think about its extraordinary expense, and the bizarre way it gives you headaches because you're constantly refocusing your eyes. But Alex, you're actually reviewing it. So what do you think of Google Glass as someone who is being forced by our company to wear it for a long period of time?
Yeah, I mean, without being forced, I probably never would have worn it outside. It's fine wearing it around the labs. I think people have come to expect it. I take it off before I walk down to the bathroom because I feel like that weirds everyone out. But that in general, I think, is one of the hard problems about wearing glass. You walk down the street and people, it's like when you walk a dog down the streets of New York, like people want to stop and ask you questions about it. So I've had people ask if they could try it on, ask how I like it. Someone asked if I could see an X-ray vision of their bones.
Now that's actually quite sweet and harmless if you consider what's happening to people wearing Google Glass in San Francisco. There was a Business Insider reporter earlier this week who took his Google Glass for some insane reason into an anti-Google protest, and I believe got ripped off his face and broken. So you've been treated well by New Yorkers.
I didn't face anything quite like that in New York, but in general too, I just think $1,500 for this, what it is so far, it's way too much money. I think there's a lot of potential. I think there are developers who are creating amazing apps that could be really groundbreaking if they launch a much cheaper consumer version. But right now, I don't see it being appealing to anyone other than developers and the most die-hard, wealthy enthusiasts.
So now Google Glass is getting an update, right? Are they adding any new features?
So Google Glass is being updated to the latest version of Android, which is KitKat. And they're actually getting rid of a feature, video calling, which I didn't have a big problem with, but apparently wasn't up to Google standards. But it is supposed to bring better battery life, which is a problem with the current model. You get about like 5 hours of like regular use, which if you're using it all day, you're probably not going to make it through the entire day.
Now, I wonder if Google Glass is going to start becoming standard like in law enforcement, because we've been hearing about this big facial recognition database they're building, right?
Yes, and actually, speaking of law enforcement, that brings us to our second news story. The FBI database will contain 52 million photos by 2015, which is a huge increase from where it is now. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, now what the really disturbing thing about this is that it's not only that they're increasing their database from 16 million photos of Americans' faces to 52 million, it's that they are mingling criminal and non-criminal photos, okay? Everybody who has a job that requires a background check, especially people who, for instance, work in the security industries, they have non-criminal photos on the government's files. And the FBI is going to start making available to law enforcement this undifferentiated database of not just the photos of people who have been arrested and have therefore, I guess, given up some of their rights, but the photos of anyone who has come in contact with the government and needed to have their photo taken. So the question really is there going to be any oversight? Because we've done such a bad job of oversight of these law enforcement information sources in the past couple of years. And I mean, you know, Edward Snowden has had to be our oversight. And if Edward Snowden has to be your oversight, you know the whole process is broken. Okay, and of course that's not the only broken process we heard about this week, right?
No, not at all. Speaking of broken processes, airlines have had a major social media fail, seemingly all at once. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, okay, so here is what seems to have happened, and some of it is a little misty, but okay, so first a Dutch 14-year-old tweeted a terrorist threat at American Airlines which got her arrested by the Dutch police. But then a whole bunch of people started tweeting fake terrorist threats at various airlines, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, etc., etc. As part of that process, somebody sent a really gross kind of goatsy-esque picture to American Airlines. And then here's the mystery, which is how it ended up on US Airways' official Twitter stream for an hour. And the theories are that now US Airways is saying, oh, it was a mix-up in our social media client. We had flagged that tweet to be deleted or removed, and it accidentally got copied. But some other people are saying that someone on the US Airways social media team was mingling personal and business data on the same computer and actually copied that tweet to send to a friend and accidentally posted it to the corporate feed anyway. But what I see here are two big problems. First of all, hair trigger Twitter leads to tears. But the bigger problem, I think, for all of us is mixing business and personal data on your computer might lead to tears. I mean, do you do that? You know, I think we all do that, right?
I do. I mean, thankfully, I haven't made an error of that proportion yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm also not really trafficking in those photos on my work computer. Well, in general. So.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you're generally a very high-class, erudite kind of guy. But yeah, I mean, it is a cautionary tale for anyone who is, you know, sending things that they think are funny to their friends from their work computer. You make sure you know what account you're sending it from, because the IT department's watching, and maybe the whole internet.
Basically, do it from your phone. Don't connect to work Wi-Fi, and you'll be fine.
That is a great point.
So that brings us to our reader question. Randall asked via the comments from yesterday's show, are the wireless carriers legally liable if they don't offer updates to fix Heartbleed problems on Android phones?
This is a really good question because, as we said on yesterday's show, phones running Android 4.1.1 are vulnerable to the Heartbleed security flaw, which can steal your personal data. There are a lot of those phones out there, up to 90 million of them, and some wireless carriers and manufacturers have not allowed the updates to fix that flaw to future Android versions. Now, are the carriers legally liable? This is America. You can sue anybody about anything. Nobody has sued about it yet. Nobody knows. Some lawyer is going to have to stand up and take them to court, and then we'll find out if the carriers and the manufacturers can just point fingers at each other, or there is something buried in page 35 of your license agreement that lifts all liability, or what. But I think this is really untested. I am not a lawyer, but I have not seen any stories about anybody suing anyone on this. And that means that it's fertile ground, I think.
Yeah, so if you're thinking about it, now it seems like a perfect time to open a lawsuit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now we're going to show you one cool thing from our labs. Today's cool thing is the Asus VivoTab Note 8. Sascha, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, this is a $299 pen-enabled Windows 8 tablet. Now, there are a lot of 8-inch Windows 8.1 Intel Bay Trail-powered tablets coming in this price range right now, but what makes this tab special is this Wacom-style pressure-sensitive pen. Now, it has a 1280 by 800 screen, 2 gigs of RAM, 32 or 64 gigs of storage, 8 hours of battery life. One of the reasons I'm really excited for this tablet is my wife is an artist, and so she uses the pressure-sensitive pen capabilities on things a lot. A $300 tablet with this pen that runs real Photoshop looks like an amazing deal. So I can't wait to see what the real reviewers think of it. We'll have a review up within a couple of days on PCMag.com.
And that's it for today's PCMag Live. Check us out again tomorrow for another episode.